What's up, guys? Brad here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Bros Don't Layer. I may be a mess, but I taste good. You hear me? Guys, how have you been? It's been a little minute. I know I didn't release anything last Wednesday or last Friday or a new podcast. And I know I'm probably getting a lot of looks that are like, well, this dude isn't following through with anything that he's saying. And I really could give a shit if that's what you think as to why things aren't coming out as they are. Life happens for everyone. And I'll just say that life is happening for me. But regardless of the fact, I hope you guys have been having a good time here the last week and a half, last 2 weeks. Hope your weekend was fantastic. I had a blast this last weekend. I was able to celebrate a good friend of mine's birthday party. Went down to the Springs. Got to be able to get in a jacuzzi, hot tub, doing that cool air. Always feels really good. And then, of course, I come back to reality, if you will, and I have to look at all this other crap, and it's like, I really hate it, because this time last year, I was coming out of a relationship, so I was down in the gutter. I was fearful. I didn't know what to do, and I got really big and positive, and not saying that I'm not positive anymore right now, because I am very much positive, but I mean, I'm also still calling out crap because no one bothers to even pay attention to it. For example, and I'm going to say it too, I could sit here, and I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? Now, I know when I say this that there will be probably at least 27 people that will be like, not the case, Brad. Well, I'm just going off of literally what I have seen on your precious social media. I could say right now that I'm having a hard time and that I've got something and I've you know what? I'm going to commit suicide. All right? I could say that. And it would not grab the attention that it would if a young lady was to do so. With that, okay? With that being said, what I'm trying to say here is, it's sad that it's very evident that men do not have the support and care that they need to get through life. Okay, I'm not saying it all, and I'll take it a step further. People care about women more than they care about men. Flat out truth. I don't care if you want to argue about it. You've got my DM. If you've got my number, that means you're close enough to get through that argument with me. But it's the truth. Okay, it's a huge thing, because we keep trying to have this idea that we're battling mental health. Yeah, we're battling, and we support you, and the hotlines are here. But the reality is, some people don't want to hit those hotlines up. Some people have no care to call the cops or call a therapist or anything. They want the people that are there. They want to remember the times in high school and when you were young and you're like, I got this posse. And now that I'm older, I'm going to try to hit up this posse. And unfortunately, if you're a dude, your posse seems to only give a shit about the big old P, which is mom, earmuffs, vagina. But it's just evident. It's sad. I'm not going to say much more on it, because it's just, I mean, a lot of people have my views, and I may be very wrong. And I'll be the first to admit that I am wrong under circumstance. But experiencing life with depression, and watching people take their attention elsewhere when clearly you're crying out for help, it doesn't feel good. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, and that's just the world we live in. So hopefully we can get that turned around. It induces fear. It induces fear, having to feel like that, having to feel like, oh, I'm just a phase. Oh, people think I'm just complaining. Oh, I'm looking desperate. Things like that. It puts the fear in you. You know, I was talking to my little brother, and he was saying, you got, man, you should start writing scary stories. And I was like, man, what's scarier than what we just went through this last year? What's scarier than, a single day in Memphis, Tennessee? What's scarier than sleeping on the side of the road. What's scary? And so I went ahead and wrote something, okay? And I'm gonna read it, and then we're gonna end this video, and we're gonna let you guys go have a wonderful hump day. She's like a dick like a doggy tail. Woo, woo, she's like a dick like a doggy tail. But I'm gonna read this, and I want you guys to just sit back while I'm reading this, if you wouldn't mind. Sit back, close your eyes, visualize, be in the moment, okay? You just do this with me, because if you don't, I'm probably going to be right here, because I'm reading what is set behind us. It's kind of like my own little version of a teleprompter, but it's nowhere near as elegant or as cool. Nowhere near. Okay, so this is my attempt to writing something scary. This is my attempt to writing something that will pull the fear out your butt. Okay, all right. Have you ever just gotten that feeling, that moment where you just feel a lingering presence, especially in situations where you're solitary, when you're alone, right? Better yet, have you tried to explain that exact feeling? Me, I feel it a lot. I felt it the other night. I feel it a lot when I'm laying down. Laying down in my bed. I've got my bed, as you see, in my corner over here, so it's next to the wall. And a lot of the times, because of this beautiful window, I face the wall. And there's a lot of times I don't see any of my room but that wall. And I feel that presence, For you guys, maybe you're standing, maybe you're showering, maybe you're driving solo, maybe you're just on a good little drive and it's just you, without a single idea of what's happening or what it's doing. You have no clue, but you have this presence. You know it's there. You can't explain it. You don't know why. You don't know what its intentions are. But it sure does feel eerie, right? It sure does feel eerie. You see, your brain, it's big on hating, not knowing, or not being able to process. That's why we try our best to come up with reasons, things like that, explanations. All right, they're breathing on my neck. My wife must be home early. And then you think to yourself, wait, I don't have a wife. Ooh. Now, as you know, our brains want to identify, so it will try to pair face with this presence that you're picturing in your head right now. If you're playing along and your eyes are closed and you're picturing whatever it is that it could be saying, however whatever it is you feel. Okay, and since the brain isn't capable of making a new face. Considering the level of fear that you're already feeling because you feel a presence behind you, well, that presence will get a face that warrants such a feeling of fear, whether it be, Freddy Krueger, whether it be spiders, whether it be the Predator face, whether it be Mitch McConnell, or whether it be Bruce Jenner. Whichever, or I couldn't help myself. I really couldn't. I feel like I'm hating on Bruce Jenner way too much, but who knows? But really, while you laugh, while you enjoy that brief moment of bliss of the joke, the most horrific face you can picture is right there behind you. Behind you, maybe it's underneath your bed, maybe it's in your closet. Who knows? Now, thank goodness. As humans, we try to ration ourselves and say whatever to convince ourselves it's not there, and that then we muster up courage to turn around and face it. Turn around and say, WTF, mate, what are you doing here? Or you may start to point out why it is that there's no way a presence could be reacting or reaching out at you. There's no way. You're going to think of all the things that reasons as to why this could not be happening. Let me tell you why there's no one behind me, because I'm home alone. Because I didn't hear any footsteps coming. I didn't hear a door close. I didn't hear anything. Okay? I'm not sure about you, but this leads to the common feeling of being watched. Someone's watching me. I've got eyes on me. And I know a lot of us have felt that way. We've had that feeling that somewhere, somehow, Not the duck staring one, because I know some of you are thinking about that. A duck is staring at you, but no, somehow, some way, you're being watched by someone. And it's a widespread feeling. It is a widespread feeling. I had to look this up. It's called Occam's razor. Okay? Now, that is a philosophy used to end a feeling like that, like you're being watched. And basically, what it states in a nutshell, it's the easiest explanations are the best, the most rational, and the most reasonable explanation. Our brain basically says we're going to go with the easy choice. I'm going to convince myself, because I didn't hear anybody come in, because I have no wife, because I live home alone. There's no way that there's someone behind me. There's no way, and that's why in that moment, where you reason with yourself, where you find the reason why it is that you're alone, why there's not anyone standing behind you, that's when you freeze because you feel someone touch the back of your neck. Man, isn't it weird? Our own brain can cripple us like that. I didn't really necessarily write that in the form of a story. It's more of how I wanted to script it out to you guys. But it is bone chilling what I was thinking about earlier. I was like, man, I can convince myself all I want that there's nothing here. But reality is, I've just set myself up to get killed, I'm going to work on some other stuff. Guys, lately, thank you. One, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Okay, tuning in to this episode. I will have one out Friday. I have been looking and doing so much research and compiling information just to try to get the best product out to you guys. There's so many routes that I could do to do this video. And I've been hearing from some people, and it's you'd be surprised. It's hard to be unapologetically me without having a niche. And I'm starting to think that my niche may not be having that. I can't freaking talk today. I can't talk today. Who wrote the script? Who wrote it? Basically saying, maybe I just don't need a niche. You can't cage me. I'm Panda. You can't cage me. Boy, I love you guys. I'm getting up to 13 minutes. I want you guys to go and rue the day or win the day or do what you do with the day, regardless of how you do it. Just know that I love you and that you freaking matter. Okay. I hope I gave you the chills. I hope I gave you the thrills. Now it's time to go pay your bills. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys Friday. Later.